cracking, everybody? Buenos dias, saludos. So, I want to talk a little bit about me and what's happening with my me being busted and how I felt about things and the journey, my kind of journey about what I went through. Uh, First and foremost, we got to understand something. I don't agree with everything in prison. I'm not supposed to. Everybody has their own thoughts about prison, their their scruples on what they believe in and what they don't believe in, and but the one thing you do is you fall in line. That's what you're supposed to do. Because if you're one of those guys that want to buck the system, you better be ready to give your life one way or another. You're going to give up your life because you took somebody's to change it, or you're going to give up your life because you're going to get hurt for thinking the way you do. I've done my best to be a better person since I've gotten out. I've done, I've changed so much compared to what I was like before I got busted. I learned to put my family first, for one. My kids come first, my wife, myself, before anybody else anymore. That doesn't mean I'm going to go and do something illegal and tell on someone, because I just refuse to do anything illegal anymore because I don't want to be put in a position. Because I know what's going to happen. If I get busted, I'm not going to say nothing. There's a lot of people that say that. I can actually say I won't say anything. I've already been put to the test. And I had let's say a long time giving it because I wouldn't open my mouth. Now, recently, I've been put in the forefront again, which is every couple months, there's this guy from FBA, right? If you don't know what FBA is, it's Foundational Black America. Every couple months, their views start to go down, and they need an arch rival. They need somebody they got to go after, that super Ku Klux Klan type of guy. And apparently, I am that guy to him. He he talks about me as if he knows me. He speaks about me as if I'm this Ku Klux Klan wizard, but yet doesn't know anything about me. He There was a video, right, with Alex Alonso, and Alex Alonso asked me a question about why doesn't Raza eat with blacks? Why can't they eat with blacks? Or something to that effect, right? My research response was that it kept our interaction with the blacks to a minimum, which in turn keeps the violence to a minimum. The interaction with them, the least interaction you have with a different group, the less problems you're going to have with that group. Damian Porter wanted to speak while you eat with the whites. Okay, well, Damian Porter should already know. He's been busted, apparently, from what I understand. Apparently, he did a long time, so he understands the system. He's not. He just wants to push that agenda about racism, right? Now, we can all understand that in prison, particularly prison, we have what they call day rooms. Our day rooms, one side or two sides. One side belongs to Raza, whites, some others, and paisas. Because some others will side with the Southerners versus the blacks. On the other side of the day room is blacks, which would consist of the Bloods, the Crips, the Hoovers, Norteños, and others. Samoan, you know, And so be on, right? So be it. Now, this was prior to when I was busted. It might be different now because, from my understanding, North and South get along, so they're probably on the same day. But Damien knows this. Damien Porter actually knows this stuff, right? And yes, we are allowed to eat with the whites. We are allowed to eat with others. We are not allowed to eat with the blacks. For the specific reason I told you. The less the interaction, the better. No problems. And these are the two biggest groups in the system. Raza and blacks. Constantly warring. Constantly. At least in LA County. So you want to keep that to a minimum as much as possible. So the least interaction, you're not supposed to do business with them, you're not supposed to eat with them. But somebody has brought something up to me. There are Southerners that are black, and homies will eat with them. There are certain types of individuals, others, Orientals, whites, blacks, all different kind of Southsiders, right? And nobody holds any animosity for them, even though they're different color, race. See, not everybody is racially motivated. People like Damian Porter and FBA are specifically racially motivated in their agendas. I am not. I didn't grow up with the blacks. That doesn't mean I haven't been around them. I lived in East LA. I lived in Puente. I lived in Monte. I lived in Burbank. I lived in South Central. I lived in the avenues. I moved around a lot. I just didn't hang out with blacks. That wasn't my thing. I spent 2 years in LA County Jail. I lived with the blacks. Never had a problem with them. I understand, just like with the Northerners, it's all business. I lived with Northerners. I didn't hate them. The way I looked at it was, it wasn't my place to hate the Northerners. It wasn't my hate to hate the black. It wasn't my place to hate the blacks. It wasn't my problem with them. It wasn't my issue with them. They had never did anything to me for me to have any kind of hate or animosity towards those two groups. But where I grew up, and as far as jail rules and regulations and bullshit, and on everybody's side, politics, you have to fall in line. But I was one of those guys that if you play the game, you want to gangbang, you want to be out there breaking the law and making your neighborhood look good and all that good stuff, right? Then you need to follow by the rules. That doesn't mean bend them and, hey, when nobody's looking, let me go break the rules and share my visiting clothes with the black or a northerner or whatever it may be. I'm not one of those guys that bend the rules to make it easier for myself. I'm one of those guys that I play by the rules. That's it. If I got to be there because something I did, I'm going to play by the rules. I'm not going to take shortcuts because I don't want to get in trouble. It's that simple. But on YouTube, everybody wants to push those rules and regulation, prison politics on YouTube. You know how many different times I gotta say, YouTube is not politics. YouTube's is not politics. Prisons. We're not in prisons. I'm close to 60 years old. I'm a grandfather. I'm a father and a husband. I'm a provider for my family. You don't see me come on YouTube and make videos about blacks or Northerners or anybody else for that fact. We come out and we give carilla on my channel, which you don't know what that means. We talk shit to each other, playing around. We don't. We listen to music. We talk. Fucking support each other like in a small community, right? And before I used to get involved in all that drama with, oh, this guy said this about you and this guy said it. After a while, I just didn't care what they said about me anymore. Like, you can say I'm no good. You can say I'm SNY. You can say I'm fucking whatever you want to say about me. I don't care. I know the truth. I know when I played the game, I played the game. And I know now that I'm older, I'm not playing the game no more. I'm a grown man. I pay my bills. I live my life. I do everything I'm supposed to do. By right by my family. As far as YouTube, my family comes first. So if I got to do it live and potentially make some money or whatever it may be, I will put it off because my wife told me, "Can you go to a market for me?" Or my daughter tells me, "Hey, Dad, can we go to movies tonight?" I will put that off. I will put my YouTube off before my family because I take my family as my priority. Now, I get a lot of heat from people that are looking for our tribals, like FBA. They start talking about me as if they know me. They try to demonize me, make me seem like I'm just this horrible person that is just sitting there having conversations about race and other groups. When in fact, it's the other way around. FBA's channel is nothing but propaganda against raza, anti-raza and indigenous culture. I learned that from Damian Porter because that's what he said about me. I'm anti-black culture. That I learned from the whites on how to feel about different groups. I was like, wow, you analyze me, mentally analyze me, don't know me. That's amazing. That's a trait. You have to corner the market on that shit and make some money on that shit. If you're able to judge somebody like that, but just saying, looking at them, saying, "Hey, this guy did this." Well, see what they do is they get these little clips, right? Because there was a subscriber, well, a new subscriber to my channel. He told me that he used to hate me. And he goes, "I used to hate him. I used to see clips and videos and stuff about what he said. But now that I had an opportunity to listen to him and hear his perspectives, I agree with that man. You have a new subscriber." So I don't know what videos they have out about me, but whatever those videos are, they're clipping and they're not using the complete context. So if they ask me, I know I spoke about this because Damian Porter had brought it up that I had spoke about FBA, or he said that I said the blacks lost their culture. Okay, I never spoke about the black community. I spoke about FBA. I don't consider FBA and the black community. I consider two different things because even they feel that they're two separate entities. Because FBA and people like Damian Porter can say they're indigenous to this world. They're indigenous to the Americas, where a normal black person, black community, accepts that they were brought over here from Africa through the slave trade, which is a horrible thing, by the way, but that's here nor there. But they have accepted that their tribes, they have tribal blood and DNA from Africa or for European blood, right? Whereas FBA and Damian Porter say that they're indigenous to the Americas and they've been here for thousands of years, and natives like myself are not indigenous to the Americas. So we have nothing to say. Now all this is spoken and talked about online through FBA. It was initiated by FBA without any facts, no DNA, no geology. There was no geography. I'm sorry, geology. There's nothing to back their play with facts. Everything points the opposite way toward people like myself, right? So back to the story was FBA and Damian Porter would get a question that was posed to me and only clip a small part of that conversation. They won't play the whole conversation. And then people like the guy from FBA will sit there, and if I say something, then he will get and narrate it and saying, "Oh, Sonny said this," like for instance about the eating with the blacks, right? We're talking about jail. And so yes, we don't eat with the blacks. He turned around and used it and switched it to, see, this is, he said this is why he hates the blacks. This is why he showed, what did we say? This is why they hate the blacks, because they don't eat with blacks, because they hate us. And this is coming from the OG. That was never said. It's just him narrating it, and then people like Damian Porter follow suit and listen to what he says instead of listening to what my words actually said. So that's when Damian Porter, like, talking about, he was upset because everybody's calling him biased and a racist. Because he says everybody's switching his words around, twisting him up and making it seem, taking his words out of context and making him seem like he's a bigot and a racist and that he doesn't like raza. And he was complaining about it. He was upset about it. What just happened to be a coincidence that, or is it a coincidence that he's doing the exact same thing to me as he's accusing other people of doing to him? Now, if you can look at any of my videos, and hear parts of stuff and that can be twisted into something else, I understand that. But if you do listen to my videos or subject that we're talking about or what we have been on a different channel and things are spoken about, listen to the context. Listen to what they asked me. Listen to my response. Don't hear my response and make your own context out of it. Don't say, I said, yes, this happens in jail, because we're not allowed to, you blacks, to turn around and say, oh, he said he hates blacks. Those are two different contexts. When I said that FBA, the guy from FBA, lost his culture, I spoke of him as an individual. I didn't speak about the black community. So Damian Porter can bring all these videos he wants, and I bet you I can explain every single one of them. It's just, like I said, if you want to listen to something, that's the problem with a lot of times with this world, I guess, especially when it comes to FBA. Am I anti-FBA? Yeah, I am. Because they're constantly trying to steal my heritage. They're constantly disrespecting. And they're constantly switching the narratives and what you say. And put words in your mouth that you never said. I am telling them I am anti-FBA now. I don't agree with anything they say anymore. There was another thing. Damian Porter talked about when I was talking about Tariq Nasheed. I had said I don't like that man. Right? I'm gonna be honest. I don't like that man. I don't like anything about that man. Damian Porter switched the words on it. He said, "Yeah, Sonny says he don't agree with anything Tyreek Nasheed said, but he agreed that there wasn't any kind of way of brown and blacks mending our problems, right?" And I honestly don't think there is a way because of people like Damian Porter, people like the guy from FBA, and I'm sure there's a lot of raza that do things too that they don't want to mend nothing. They like it the way it is. I am not one of them. It doesn't mean I'm gonna go out and go look for a black friend. Not saying I don't have any, but I'm not gonna say I'm gonna go out there and look for them to try to be. Oh, let's just all be kumbaya. No, that wasn't what I'm saying. But see, the words that came out of my mouth were way different than what people like the FBA and Damian Porter used as context to make me look like I'm a demon, racist, bigot. This is something I want to share with you guys, man. You take a man for his word. If a man will come and talk to you, if a man will express to himself to you, I don't think it's fair if you switch his words to feel to say what you want them to say or what you think is going to help you on your narrative. See, me, if I'm listening to a man and a man tells me something, hey, you know what? I don't like this. I'll take that man for his word. There's something that I don't believe. I heard one YouTuber saying that he's never been scared in his life for nothing. Nothing ever scared him, right? I didn't take him for his word. I didn't disrespect him over it, but I didn't go switch all his words to say, oh yeah, he says he's a straight killer. He didn't care about nobody or nothing, feared nothing. I didn't switch all those words to fit a narrative that I wanted. So if a man talks to you, listen to what they're saying. Don't make it something else. Listen to what they're saying. The words coming out of their mouth and the way they put the context out. Not everybody is honest, but I am one of those people on YouTube that are honest, very extremely honest, and I got a lot of hate for it. So, with that, you guys, oh, one other thing. I'm not out here claiming to be leaders of the raza or a voice in the community that speaks for everybody. So those of you that are talking now, flapping your gums about that shit, I'm not the one. I never claim to be something I'm not. If they ask me a question, I'm going to answer to the best of my ability for myself, not for anybody else. I don't speak for anybody else. I'm not smart enough to speak for anybody else. I'm barely smart enough to speak for myself. So all you high powers that want to talk all this fucking yippity yap that he don't speak for me. I'm this. I'm that. That's fine. Be you all day long. Just don't do it on the internet, man, because it don't look right. But that's me. Have a good one, you guys. Stay blessed.